After a quick one-event weekend in Houston, Texas, Monster Jam Stadium Championship Series West is back at it for the third time this year in Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. We have sunshine in the forecast for what seems like the first time. However, the storyline of the weekend always is the points battle. Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger is currently holding a 29-point lead, the biggest lead he has had of the entire season. Will it continue to grow this weekend, or will someone else be able to cut the deficit a little bit shorter? Find out next on Monster Jam.
Hello everybody and welcome.
Hello everybody and welcome. Hello everybody and welcome.
Oh, boy! Oh, yeah!
Hello everybody and welcome back to Anaheim, California for another commentary in the beginning of a 4-commentary weekend. I am the Arizona Motorsports Junkie, formerly known as Who's Ready for Monster Jam. We've got the first event of a 4-event weekend starting here in Anaheim, California. Let's meet the 12 competitors that are going head-to-head tonight. We started off with Mike Christensen in Vendetta. He has been slowing it down a little bit lately, but was really hoping he could pick up the momentum here in Anaheim. David Olfert, Velociraptor, was in the Rod Ryan show last weekend, didn't have much luck. After that, we have Chris Kohler in Monster Mutt. Last weekend, he finally had a pretty good freestyle, hopefully back on the right track. Jim Kohler in Adventure has a very unique and cool body style, an homage to an old World Finals body this weekend. Can't wait for you to see it. Corey Rummel and Megalodon has been battling truck issues the last couple of weekends. Hopefully those can be sorted out tonight. Barry Musauer and Zombie won the overall event championship the last time that this series was in this building. Colt Stevens, Thunderoris, is your defending World Finals Freestyle Champion. After that, we have Joe Foley, El Toro Loco, who's been slowly stealing the show on this series every single weekend. Caleb Blood, Soldier Fortune, is quickly becoming one of the most exciting drivers on this series to watch as of late. Adam Anderson and Gravedigger needs to turn things around. It has been a really big fall off these last couple of weekends for Adam. Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid in the same boat, really far behind in the points, but still in second to this man, Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger. He's got a solid lead right now, playing with house money, entering Anaheim. And now we enter in to the first competition of 3 tonight. It is Monster Jam Racing. In this race, we have Caleb Blood, Soldier Fortune, up against David Olfert in Velociraptor. Caleb Blood and Soldier Fortune has been looking a lot better in racing as of late. Interesting to see how she can do here tonight, especially against Velociraptor. David Olfert has not had much luck. The turn has been deciding it all year long, and David Olfert, Velociraptor, cuts a better one, and he is your winner. And it seems like this track is going to be a pretty smooth track tonight. Seems like there will be nobody flipping over or spinning out in a certain corner, so that's nice. Nice even playing ground for our next set of competitors. Barry Musauer and Zombie taking on Corey Rummel in Megalodon. 2 awesome Monster Jam creatures and 2 very legendary Monster Jam trucks, and it looks like Zombie has a small lead right now. Look at him sliding it through the turn, carrying a lot of speed, and Zombie looking very fast in that race. He's off to round 2. The track looks a little slick. They might have watered it down a little too much, which is always interesting when it comes to racing. There was no rain, though. That is just over-watering, if anything. Your next race, we have a pair of teammates. Chris Kohler and Monster Mutt taking on Joe Foley, El Toro Loco. While Joe Foley has been dominant as of late, racing has not been his best competition, but right now he's got a lead. Monster Mutt needs to make up the ground. He certainly has more speed, but he overdoes it in the final turn. Joe Foley keeping it nice and tight. He is your winner. This track is looking nice and fast so far tonight. Always a great sign. Now our final race of round 1, Mike Christensen in Vendetta. And in the far lane, it is Jim Kohler Avenger. And you'll know what I mean by that iconic body right there. There you have it. One of the most legendary Avenger bodies returns for the first time in almost 2 decades. The split design of orange and green is back. Unfortunately, though, I don't know if it's going to get him a win here tonight in racing. Mike Christensen and Vendetta crosses the line first. We'll see Avenger a little bit later and get to really adore that beautiful body. We are now in round number 2 of Monster Jam Racing, and we have David Olfert and Velociraptor in the far lane, taking on Adam Anderson, Gravedigger. Adam Anderson, his first look at this track tonight. It's been a bit of a slicker track, so how will he handle it? He is certainly playing it that way, but he's falling behind in the turn. Velociraptor with the lead. Gravedigger cannot make up the ground. David Olfert with an upset, and Adam Anderson continues to falter. My, oh my, a fall of the Titan here on Stadium Championship Series West. Our next race, Camden Murphy in the Bakugan Dragonoid goes up against Bari Musauer in Zombie. Bari looked super fast in round 1, but it was in the gray lane. Now he's been thrown in the red lane, still looking fast, but Camden Murphy hanging in there. Camden Murphy going a little bit wide in the turn. They're very close out of the turn. It's a close race across the line, and I think it was Camden Murphy, Zombie, doing everything he can not to flip over. But a great race, and I'm pretty sure Dragonoid got the win. Next up, El Toro Loco, Joe Foley takes on Son of a Digger, Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson, our first look at him tonight, your series leader, and he kind of has a little pressure on him now that Camden Murphy moved on, but Joe Foley with a big mistake there takes a lot of the pressure off. Foley trying to make up some of the ground, and he does. He's making it up towards the end, a lot closer than Son of a Digger would have liked, but it is still a win for Ryan Anderson. We are set for our final race in round 2. Colt Stevenson, Thunderoris, goes up against Mike Christensen, Vendetta. Christensen looked pretty smooth in round 1. He already has a racing win this year. So does Colt Stevens, 2 guys who have reached the top of the mountain this season in this competition. Both of them taking it slow through this final turn. Slow and steady wins the race. Who's going to make up the ground better? It's a close one across the line, and I really don't know who won that race. I think it was Thunderoris, but we're going to have to find out in the next race. We are here in the semi-final round. Camden Murphy in the Bakugan Dragonoid takes on David Olfert, Velociraptor. And you know that David Olfert is feeling good. He has not had any success in racing this season, but looking better than he has all year tonight. And he's keeping that up. He has a lead right now going into the final turn. Camden Murphy, though, is so fast, making up the ground, and he takes the lead over the jump and crosses the line first as your winner. David Olfert almost secured the win, but could not quite do it. And now we find out that Colt Stevens did win that round 2 race in Thunderoris. He will be taking on Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger here. Nobody has really looked dialed into this track tonight. Ryan Anderson, though, look at him cutting that turn way earlier than Thunderoris. It pays off because it gets him a race victory there and puts him in the final round. And I'll tell you what, this is a big final round for both of these competitors. In the near lane, it's Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid. The far lane, Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger. And Camden Murphy needs this win. He's already gotten a lot of points, but he needs to gain every bit of points that he can. Second place on the series right now, and second place in the race right now. Son of a Digger has a lead. Continuing to cut the corners well, and it looks like it's all Son of a Digger yet again across the line. Your racing winner in Anaheim tonight, the man who has been winning racing seemingly every time out, Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger. Camden Murphy still was able to get himself 11 points in this competition, which he needed, and that Adam Anderson lost even more of, but Son of a Digger cannot be stopped right now. This man is easily the most unbeatable driver in the sport at the moment. This truck has been dialed in. It is in tip-top shape. And now we will get into the Great Clip Skills Challenge. Starting it off is Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune, who's going to put it into a popper, balanced it, and now she's going to moonwalk it a little bit. You can either do 2 two-wheel moves or 1 donut in this competition. She's doing the 2 two-wheel moves. Going for a maximum moonwalk here. This is bold from Kayla Blood. She does not do this very often, if ever. So look at her trying to change things up a little bit here in Anaheim, the 3rd weekend around, and she gets the kick off of it. Kayla Blood, look at this! Kayla Blood is slowly becoming one of the better drivers on this series. Very impressive skills run. Unfortunately, because it came out first, I don't think it's going to get a very high number. And the score for Soldier Fortune's a 7.201. Too bad, because that was a pretty decent run. Next up, Corey Rummel and Megalodon walking the moonwalk, but he will stop it right there. He couldn't get enough momentum to walk it up the ramp. Now, I mentioned last weekend Corey Rummel's been having a lot of truck problems. We'll see if those are continuing to plague him this weekend. So far, the truck's seeming to be running smoothly, but we won't get a real look at it until Monster Jam Freestyle. He's got a nice stoppie walking off of the backflip right now, which is good for him. And we already saw Caleb Blood do this, but not as well as Megalodon is doing it right now. And he will set it down, and he will take a lead. 8.599. Your new leader is Corey Rummel and Megalodon. Your next competitor, this is the Monster Mutt monster truck, driven by Chris Kohler. He's walking a bicycle on the right sidewalls, digging it in. Can he get the save out of it? No. Not enough momentum to get a save. Unfortunately, he was just going too slow on the sidewalls, and a 5.814. Really disappointing score for Monster Mutt. Your next competitor is Jim Kohler and Avenger. Now we get our first real close-up look at this beautiful body. We're looking at the green side right now in a dark green, an homage to that original Avenger, as he tries to do the maximum moonwalk, setting himself up to try and walk it. And he pops it off, but unfortunately doesn't get enough of a kick, so that's one move in the books for Avenger. He's got to do one more. We get a look at the orange side now. Oh my, look at that sky wheelie! Absolutely vertical, and that's how you make up a bad first tip. Avenger was absolutely vertical on that one. It doesn't get him a high score, though, a 6.783. Here's Gravedigger, Adam Anderson, slap wheelie, walking it on one wheel, danced it around, but couldn't walk it very far. Man, oh man, Adam Anderson cannot get the monkey off of his back. Now going for his iconic reverse move, trying to combo it into something. He got the little wheelie, but unfortunately didn't get much else, so Gravedigger will not be taking the lead. In fact, it's a 7.073. That puts him in third place currently. The next truck out in skills, this is Zombie, driven by Barry Musauer. He's choosing to do a donut, the first driver to do so tonight. He is a world record holder for the most revolutions in a single minute in a monster truck doing a donut, and right now he's proving why. Look at him, he is doing that donut on a penny there. No way, that was so good. Great donut from Zombie, and if you can believe it, it is your new leader at an 8.7. Barry Musauer's taking the lead, but for how long? Here's Joe Foley in El Toro Loco. Walking a slap wheelie up the ramp and down, comboing it again, and Joe Foley is just showing off these last few weekends. What can't Joe Foley do right now is the question. He does a nice little stoppie, and I'll tell you what he can't do, it's take the lead at the moment. It's a 7.444. Next up is Vendetta. Mike Christensen hit the brakes a little too soon, didn't get any pop off of it, but that is still his first attempt here in this skills challenge. He's got one left. Pops it down again, and no kick on that either, and a 2.513. Frustrating run there from Vendetta. Now David Olfer coming out a little bit later than he's been used to this season because he had some luck in the racing competition tonight. He's going to try and have some luck here in skills as well. Walking that stoppie, you also have to keep in mind, no one has really nailed the stoppie yet tonight. You can hear the fans. They're getting nice and loud, giving some applause to David Olford as he's really just balancing that truck. I mean, the flag is barely even moving, too. That's a really firm first move there, but he's got one left. Comboing, or not comboing, going for his second move here. It's a stoppie yet again, so two moves in the same area, this one facing the other direction. John Saponaro trying to get the fans hyped up for this run, and a solid run from Velociraptor, and sure enough, it's your new leader, taking over Zombie with a 9.032. Colt Stevens Thunderoris has popped it into a stoppie now. He's going to try and take down Velociraptor. David Olfer trying to win his first competition of the year. He's in a pretty decent spot right now, but he's got a couple good competitors left to come. Thunderoris laid down a good first move, but he's got one left. Gonna attempt a bicycle here. It's a risky move. He gets it from the right side to the left, but unfortunately it overdid it and ends on its lid. Too bad for Thunderoris. That could have been way better, but an 8.244, respectable, but not enough for the lead. Down to our final two competitors, Camden Murphy and the Dragonoid. Oh no! That's gonna count as a move. He didn't get enough of a kick off of it, and that's one wasted move. He's got one left, and frustrating from Camden Murphy. After a great night of racing, he knew he needed to get some more points. Oh no, an even worse second move. Oh boy, and that's going to put him in second to last. at a 3.101, and all hope Camden Murphy had regained is just torn away. But obviously he can get some of it back if Son of a Digger fails his skills run, but that's not something Ryan Anderson does very often. He's a little close to the backflip ramp, but he works out of it perfectly. Ryan Anderson, complete control and balance of this truck, and there is nobody better at controlling a truck. And look at him going so deep on the moonwalk there. That was a stellar first move. And David Olfert is right now looking at one competitor left and knowing this is going to be really tough to watch, because if Ryan Anderson puts down another good move, well, David Olfert can say goodbye to that skills win, and he is the only man standing in his way. Going for the bicycle, a solid second move there, and I think that first move might carry him through, and sure enough it does. And look at that right there. Son of a Digger is your skills winner, not by much, but he takes home his second competition win of the night and now has 24 points in the day. What a big day for Son of a Digger. But this man who is on the track right now, also having a really good day as he starts off Monster Jam Freestyle. It's David Olfert in Velociraptor. He almost just won skills. He finished off in second place, which I'm sure he's pretty happy about. Being able to finish in second place in skills, made it to the semifinals in racing today. It's easily been the best day of the season for David Olfert. Now he's getting big air in freestyle. Oh boy! Good little save there. Good control of the truck to prevent him from flipping over. That would have made a great day end in a really poor way. And I would love to see David Olfert put down a really good freestyle here. He's certainly in some overall event contention right now, especially with Camden Murphy falling off in the skills competition. I think David Olfert's probably in second entering freestyle, so a good number here and a bad number from Son of a Digger. You never know. Yes, big air. Velociraptor showing a bit of a sign of desire to get a higher number here. David Olfert certainly looking like he's driving with a little bit more passion here in this event. The third time around here in Anaheim, and he is not holding it back. Big air, completely cleared the step-up ramp. Velociraptor having a good run, but I want to see him pick up that speed a little bit. He does so for that move, which is nice, but all of his jumps have really been the only exciting part. He has not carried enough speed and momentum from move to move. That does not mean that he can't get himself a big freestyle number. He's going for the backflip. Here he goes, hitting the backflip a little short, breaks the tie rod, and he will finish it right there. Well, unfortunately for Olfert, I don't think he's going to get a huge number, but he will get a solid one. It's a 9.011. So how about David Olfert and Velociraptor starting us off strong, and he continues his great day, the best night he's had on this series. Next up in freestyle, coming out second, Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid. It's a rare sight to see Camden Murphy coming out this early, but it's because of where he placed in last weekend's competition. It was a frustrating weekend last weekend in Houston, and so far, started strong today, but back to frustrating. You know, it could turn all of that around, would be a nice freestyle number and maybe even a freestyle win tonight. Camden Murphy has not had much of those this entire season, so a chance to try and do so, especially coming out second. He can really put down a huge number. It's a bit of an advantage for a guy like Camden. If he lays down a typical Camden Murphy run, he can put up an unbeatable number no matter what the rest of the competitors do. If he goes out there and gets a 9.7, it doesn't matter if people have better runs, they're not going to be able to beat that score. So while he might not deserve to win, he'll get the points that he needs. And he's certainly airing it out, trying to do that. He knows that this has to be a full, complete freestyle, but he also knows he needs to get the number one spot right now. And he is certainly trying with big air like that. The sense of urgency is going to start to kick in for not only Camden Murphy, but for Adam Anderson in these next few weeks. And I have to imagine it's certainly kicking in for Camden Murphy in this run. It's showing in the way that he's approaching it, not driving as reckless. It's a much more controlled run, but still getting that big air. Overdoes it on the backflip. Oh no! Can he save it? Yes, he does! The lucky bounce, he was able to gas out of it. And that's going to help Camden Murphy when he really needed it. Cross-threading now. All over, and this is really turning into a solid freestyle, especially coming out second. And my goodness, is it a refreshing sight to see this kind of run from Camden Murphy. This has been so great. Coming out second in freestyle, and I guarantee you he'll be taking the lead and setting the bar high. He was trying to line up for some big air at the end, but couldn't quite line it up straight. He will finish it, but that is a good full 2-minute run. The score to beat from Velociraptor to 9.011. The score for Camden Murphy is a 9.524, and that is exactly what Camden Murphy was hoping to see after that run finished. Now what we are seeing is Colt Stevens in Thunderoris. He's coming out third in freestyle. Your defending World Finals freestyle champion. He has not had tons of luck in freestyle this season. In fact, last week in Houston, he had a bit of a disappointing run. Really didn't do much of anything. So maybe this weekend in Anaheim, he could shift it back into gear and get himself a solid run. Good for Camden Murphy, though. Still, he needed those points, and that is not a completely unbeatable number in a stadium, but certainly should place him towards the top, which he needs. That is a nice jump from Thunderoris, almost fully cleared that step up. It seems like this track, there's a little bit more room between the jump and fully clearing the step up. So if you could clear that obstacle altogether, man, you know you had some big air. Colt Stevens needs to pick up the pace a little bit more. Still, though, this has been a solid freestyle. Just 3 trucks in. We're off to a pretty good start in freestyle today. Velociraptor had a good run. Obviously, Camden Murphy just did well, and Colt Stevens is sprinkling in some nice moves, an awkward bounce, but it doesn't flip him over. Definitely nice to see that the truck is able to still keep running after some of these weird hits it's taking. He's going to cross-thread that jump. It sends him a long way. Another weird bounce, but still going. Definitely good control of the truck. Some of it might be a little bit of luck, but I'll tell you, there's definitely some skill involved in making sure the truck isn't flipping over in these situations he's putting it in. Lining up for the 8-pack backflip. Will he be able to land it? It's a little bit short. Oh, dear. He didn't approach it right, and he's on his lid. Thunderoris, a 7.027. Not going to get the job done. Will this man be able to get the job done? It's Mike Christensen in Vendetta, your 4th competitor here in Freestyle. Angel Stadium is covered in red, especially in this run. The Angels are a red baseball team. We've got a red series and a red truck freestyling. It's all signs pointing to red here in this Monster Jam freestyle run. Mike Christensen going to try and throw down a good one. He made a post on social media entering the weekend how he had been a little frustrated with his results the last few weekends. Was going to hope to turn it around here in Anaheim again. And obviously, without having mud on the track, that's a big factor. He mentioned that in there as well, saying, you know, we got dry conditions for the weekend. I really want to go out there and perform the way I know I can. Mike Christensen in some of those dry events had some solid ones this year. I mean, he won racing in San Diego earlier in the season. He did have a pretty good freestyle in the mud last weekend on Saturday night, or 2 weeks ago on Saturday night in Anaheim, but I don't even remember. I don't think it was rainier in that event, actually. So he's had himself a couple good moves this season, but we haven't really had anything that stands out. So I'm hoping that Mike Christensen can get the job done and do that. Having some nice air in this run, but as the tail goes, he still needs to pick up that momentum just a little bit. Not much time left in his freestyle run. Starting to pick up the speed a little bit. Nice combo. Oh my, that almost got hairy, but he's able to prevent it from flipping over, especially really close to the dumpsters there. Now heading over to another dumpster. This is the container for the backflip ramp. Lands it absolutely perfect. That is how you write it up. Couldn't have scripted that any better. Mike Christensen with a very solid backflip. He has a little bit of time left in his run to try and get something going. He's going to choose to do a donut right at the end of the time. And let's give that one a solid chocolate donut. Very good run there from Vendetta. Unfortunately for him, it's not going to take the lead, but still pretty decent. It's an 8.548, respectable number there from Mike Christensen. This truck freestyling now is Megalodon. It's driven by Corey Rummel. Now, last weekend I talked about it, how Corey Rummel had made a post on social media about his truck problems he's been dealing with the last few weekends. Let's hope that those are sorted out. He said that he thought he had them figured out, but it really seemed like, at least in the last few competitions and events, It just felt like this truck is just bogged down by something. Nice air, not bogged down that time, but it really just felt like something, whether it be mechanical or whatever. It was almost as if there was like a giant trailer attached to the truck. It was just, everything was going in slow motion for Megalodon the last few weekends. So hopefully this weekend that turns around. Certainly showing signs of putting it in the right direction. He's having a solid freestyle already. But we did see him have some better runs early on in the year where his momentum was a lot better than this. Oh, rearing back to get some nice elevation off of the step-up. A good sky wheelie, but that was not at the level that we saw from Avenger and Skills. Jim Kohler was practically kissing the sky with that move that he had. Jim Kohler loves to get that big air. We've seen him do that so many times, but doing it in Skills is a nice change. And Megalodon now going to fly it off of the car stack. Using the cars as a landing, rather, but certainly picking up the pace in this run compared to what we've seen, but not at the level that I want to see Corey Rummel at. And I think that's where the problem lies here. I don't know where it is, really, whether it's Corey Rummel or if it's the truck. He has the backflip in his sights. Got it too. Perfect landing. Tried a moonwalk, but didn't have the right bounce for it. Now he's going to hit the move right next to the backflip ramp to keep the momentum flowing right towards the end of time. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to really take the lead or get close, but he's certainly trying, and you could tell he's trying to let out some of that frustration there at the end of the freestyle run. It's a good run, but an 8.127, just not going to get the job done for Corey Rummel. Your next competitor in Monster Jam Freestyle, it is Jim Kohler in Avenger. Nice to see this body again. And it's somehow still in one piece, but based on what I'm hearing... Oh, no, I thought there might have been some transmission issues for Avenger. I think those have maybe sorted out. I don't know. Something to keep an eye on throughout the rest of this run. But man, I'll tell you, this body is so pretty, and it's so nice to see it back. It is really refreshing to see Jim Kohler whipping out bodies that not only are different from just the standard green, but are also bodies that we haven't seen in a long time. The last time this body competed was at the World Finals, in which it competed almost 2 decades ago, if not 2 decades ago. I don't remember exactly the World Finals, but I think it was like 2004 or 5, so it's been a long time, and man, good to see it back. He already has a wow moment in the skills competition. Now, going to try and get something going in freestyle, maybe getting another wow moment here. I love that he also made the bead locks the color of the side of the truck, too. That's a nice added effect there. Something he definitely did not have to do, but I think is very welcomed. Jim Kohler is a man who pays a lot of attention to detail. Oh my! Paying attention to sending it there! That was big air! So Jim Kohler has sent it twice tonight. I love that. Jim Kohler is a man who really did all of his heavy lifting by getting big air in the past. That was what he was known for, so nice to see him doing that a little bit this weekend. It's really been lacking in some of his runs this season. He is well lining up for the backflip. Utterly perfect on the landing there. That was just splendid. The truck shut itself off. Now going back to the step up again for a sky wheelie. Jim Kohler has fallen in love with the step up today, and I've got no problem with it. He's going to finish it off with a birthday cake little munchkin and a solid run from Jim Kohler. And I think that was great. He really went back to his roots there. Not only is the body a throwback, but he was throwing it back to his roots, getting big air, focusing on that. And that's what Jim Kohler needs to do to really stand out these days. The number isn't the greatest. It's an 8.062, but I'm happy with it, and I enjoyed that freestyle. The next freestyler is Jim Kohler's son, Chris Kohler, in Monster Mud. Now, Chris Kohler, I'm sure, is coming into today feeling pretty good. Last weekend in Houston, he finally had his first good freestyle in a couple of weekends. After having some really bad luck in some of his last few runs, he was able to put together 2 minutes and a very solid run, especially coming out first in that competition. I'm sure he was patting himself on the back after that one. The question is always, though, can he follow it up this weekend? And that's some nice air. I think a big thing for him is making sure that he can put together some more good freestyles this weekend before he focuses on really getting those wow moments. Because before last Sunday, the last good freestyle he had came a couple weekends prior in San Diego on Saturday night. So he went a good 3 freestyles without really doing anything at all and having a lot of bad luck. So I'm sure it was nice to kind of reset his memory and get out of that funk that he had been in. And it's kind of showing here. He's having a much more comfortable freestyle. Look at him cross-thread the center of the track. Risky move. Oh my. And it pays off. What a save. And what a move out of Chris Kohler. Absolutely fantastic. That was an amazing move. One of the best of the year. And he's got no body left to show for it. And now Chris Kohler's playing with house money. Really, really exciting to this point in the run. And Chris Kohler, with no body left, is going to go for the backflip. Fully committing for it. Landing it well. And man, oh man. What a very, very exciting freestyle for Chris Kohler so far. Cross-threading again. Doesn't get the huge move he did on the first one. But my, oh my, Chris Kohler in Monster Mud has gotten himself right back in it. He is back to peak form, flipping it over one more time, and this time he's not going to save it. But it's the end of the run. A little fire explodes off of the exhaust tips, but no problem. What a run from Monster Mutt. It's not enough for the lead, though, at a 9.472. Unfortunate, but you know what? I'm happy with it, and it was a great run. Your next competitor out, this is Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. So, man, I don't want to take away from Adam's run. Oh, no! Taking away from Adam's run, he's got a broken axle in the back right. He's running with 3-wheel drive. And the frustrating string of events and weekends keeps getting more frustrating. Nothing can go right for the Gravedigger truck on this series. Maybe he does. What is going on with that truck? Oh my! That was crazy. Something's wrong with the truck. It might even be the front right axle, to be honest. I really can't tell. One of the wheels is not fully working. Something's not right, but he is still trying to throw down here. Yeah, that back right's got no power. It was almost like it was going in and out of having power, which is strange. Cross-threading the step up. Oh no, that's not good. Maybe it will be. Adam Anderson. What a nice move. That was absolutely luck. He had lemons, turned it into lemonade. Unfortunately, the truck shuts off. I don't know if it shut off on its own. Oh man, unfortunately, Adam Anderson in Gravedigger is done right there as her next competitor, Barry Musauer in Zombie, is freestyling now. And I actually found out that what happened to Adam Anderson, he shut off and eventually was able to refire, but because of a new rule in Monster Jam, if you shut off and you're shut off for more than 30 seconds, your run is over, no matter whether you refire or not. So Gravedigger will have to settle with an 8.593, but still, I'm sure he's thrilled about that number considering he barely finished over a minute. But man, oh man, Adam Anderson cannot get anything going his way as of late. Maybe that'll change tomorrow. Barry Musauer and Zombie currently freestyling right now. It's tough in the shows like this. I love that we've got such a high pace, but I don't have enough time to really explain things. So I've got to do so while also talking about the run that's going on and finding the perfect balance. But thankfully today, this has been one of the greater freestyle competitions of the year, so I haven't needed to worry. I've had so much to do play-by-play over that I really have not had much time to do explaining, which I will take, but I've had a lot of things to explain today. Look at Barry Musauer now getting some big air. Almost fully cleared that step up. He landed on the cars, but still, we've seen a lot of drivers really air it out. They're getting parachutes out here and practically just flying around. Really nice to see, and especially after last weekend. The commentaries last weekend, we had 3 pretty underwhelming events. So it's nice to start this weekend off with a certified banger already. I mean, regardless of what happens in the final few freestylers, I don't think it really matters. We could say this has been an A+ freestyle so far. We've had some real wow moments in there. Barry Musauer heading all the way over to the backflip. He really disrupted his freestyle run to get over here. He better land the thing. Well, he does, so that's good. It was not for nothing, but it definitely sends him back over to this side of the track. He's going to try and finish off with something, but one of the few runs tonight that hasn't really had a wow moment in it to this point, which in a night that's had some good moments. Oh, there he got one! A nice sky wheelie, and he adds his own wow moment to the end of the run. And it's at 8.859. It's not enough for the lead. Soldier Fortune freestyling next with Kayla Blood, as Camden Murphy in the Bakugan Dragonoid is still at the top spot. He came out second, and he has a 9.524. So Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune right now. This is a freestyle I'm excited for. After the last couple weekends, I think Kayla Blood is really here to play and be one of the top freestylers on this series. She's coming out late because she had such a good number in Houston last weekend. Finished in third place in freestyle, and it was really refreshing. And look at her flying it into the center. She has really been taking a lot of risks the last few weekends, and that's something that is really great. Her momentum has been stellar. She's really playing fearless, and that is something that matters a lot in your freestyle. You're going to get really good numbers in freestyle if you can just be fearless and go out there and hit some stuff just like that. Very, very nice move. She's having some really nice hits, and so far, another solid run from Soldier Fortune. And I think it's been really refreshing for everybody to see Kayla Blood come out here this season and really develop into the freestyler she is. I didn't really get to see many of her freestyles last year, so she might have been this way last year, but it's still nice to see here. Now Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune has been shut off as well, and unfortunately, her run is over too at a 6.578. That one actually might have been the one that had the problem with the shutoff. I don't know which truck it was. I was just told one of the trucks did. So it was either Gravedigger or Soldier Fortune. Your next competitor out. Not your final competitor. Son of a Digger is elevated up there. Ryan Anderson already coming out and adding into the wow factor collection of the night. It's like a coin jar. Add $1 every time you get a wow factor. I mean, that thing's filling up tonight. Instead of a swear jar, we've got a wow jar, and another one from Ryan Anderson. He's got 2 already. He's barely 30 seconds in. Oh my, look at him fully clearing the track, and right now Ryan is still playing with house money. He's got 2 competition wins on the night, so he can just go out here and have as much fun as he wants. It doesn't matter if he finishes at the bottom of the leaderboard, because he has had an already great night, and I think he's already guaranteed to place above Camden Murphy, if not his brother Adam too. But you know Ryan Anderson wants to go out there and just keep piling it on, which he's most definitely going to be doing tonight. I'm telling you, he is going to be gaining even more points on this series, so he can now get even bigger points by maybe even taking the lead over Camden in freestyle. It's going to be tough. It's a high number. Ryan having a solid run. I will say, he's got to get a bigger wow moment, though. He's had 2 big leaps, but nothing else. Circles around the backflip to go over here. That was sweet. Hits the backflip. He's a little short. Oh, no. Flipping her over. Oh, Ness! He got the save, too. I thought it was over. Add some more money to the wow jar. They just keep on coming tonight. Look at that air! Son of a Digger is certainly performing at a high level, not only this weekend, but this year. Good to see Ryan Anderson just fully sending it. Oh my, what a crazy crash! That truck is broken in a million pieces, and Son of a Digger will try and take the lead with that. And it is not going to get it done. It is a 9.499, 0.03 of a point shy, as Joe Foley freestyling now in El Toro Loco, your final competitor tonight, will try and add his own flair. Joe Foley the last couple weekends has arguably been one of the best freestylers on the series. He has won back-to-back freestyle competitions, and today it's going to be the hardest one yet out of the 3. Cross-threading the step-up, nice move, throwing it back to what Chris Kohler did earlier on tonight. Joe Foley has been going so big these last couple weekends, it's almost really difficult to imagine him going any bigger, but he's going to have to tonight. Oh, he almost put himself in a bad spot. Hitting the step-up, locking up those brakes, trying to get his own wow moments in there. Obviously, the pace not up to what we've seen from the rest of the competitors tonight, but I will say, Joe Foley is not a guy who gets that huge speed that we've seen from other people. Oh boy, flipping her over. Can he get the save out of it? No. Unfortunately, Joe Foley is done, and there you see it right there. Camden Murphy and the Bakugan Dragonoid secures the freestyle win with a 9.524. Joe Foley getting a 7.006. So you look at the bottom of the leaderboard right there in freestyle. Caleb Blood and Soldier Fortune and Joe Foley, who have been some of the most exciting drivers on the series, had some bad luck in their freestyles today, and they'll be coming out first and second in Sunday night's commentary. So absolutely crazy to imagine that, but what a night of freestyle. The wow moments just kept piling up, and an absolutely stellar way to kick off this 4-commentary weekend and a 2-event weekend here in Anaheim. Anaheim has really not had any great events so far in 2024, so I'll tell you, that was really refreshing. It was a breath of fresh air, and I am so glad that we got to start the weekend off with that. Let's find out what is to come the rest of this weekend. It's going to be really tough to top what we just saw in Anaheim, but if there's any place that can do it, it is Minneapolis, Minnesota at US Bank Stadium. There's really some great competitors on that series. That's Tyler Menninger's series with Stadium Championship Series East. We'll see what that is tomorrow night on Friday. Then we'll come back to Anaheim and then back to Minneapolis. And then you see our new competitor at the bottom of the upcoming commentary schedule has peeked his way on with Detroit Ford Field. That'll be coming up next weekend after Miami. So we've got some really great places on the ledger still to come in the next few weekends. I hope we're going to have some great commentaries the rest of the weekend after a banger to start it off. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.